Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Canadian Collegiate League. I am here with another co-stream tonight. We are in the Open Division tonight. It is CESU, University of Calgary versus Concordia University, and this is the last Swiss match that we're waiting on before that next week of matches gets generated. So thank you to both of these teams for allowing me to come in and co-stream your rescheduled match. I have everybody in the lobby right now, but let's take a little bit of time to get to know these rosters before we head on into things. Let's take a look over at CESU Red. They are going to be the first up here. We have Pinkie Pie and NJ Brav on the DPS Pudge on tank here, and then we have Lizzie on lean and Fridge Magnet, your supports for tonight. Now, we do also have a substitution available. Not Indem, tank player is also available for this team to swap in, and Pudge did ask that they somehow work in this gift for him, so enjoy the Pudge gift here on top of Winston, and let's move on and take a look over at the opposing team here in Concordia University. We have that AFK Noob and Jaw, the DPS Amigo on tank, Peppy, Julie, and Jim Bionicles, the support here. And as I am looking in the lobby, I am going to make a slight adjustment as Concordia does also have a substitution available. Actually, interestingly enough, also in the tank position here. So let's get this update. It is going to be Pikazam actually in starting on the tank. And see, I look over at the side of CESU, and we are going to have Not Indem in for that tank role as well. So apologies to Not Indem for not getting you changed on the roster for that one. All right, we are of course going to be getting started out on a control map here. So there is CESU. Actually, the first one is the coin flip here. So I believe it is CESU that won the coin flip here. So that does mean that Concordia University are going to get to ban out a control map, and then it will be CESU that gets to pick which control map we will go to start. And of course, the way that CCL works is because we do have these map bans in, every single map that is available for competitive play is in the map pool right now. Now, I do believe that Watchpoint Gibraltar is not included in the map pool. CCL has determined that there's enough of a change in the structure of the map, I think especially on that second point, that they have removed that from competitive play. So we won't be seeing Watchpoint Gibraltar, but every other map in the competitive field is up for play. We have the first ban coming through. It is going to be an Ilios ban coming out here from the side of Concordia. Honestly, a little surprised for me. I feel like Ilios is definitely one of the more picked maps in the control center or in the control map options here, but we are not going to be heading over to Ilios today, so that does mean that CESU are going to be able to pick out one of those other control maps to get us started out here. And looks like they have locked in already with what we're going to be seeing for map number one. Let's take a look over at it here. It is going to be Nepal to start things out here. So definitely feel like all of the control maps are fairly well liked. Maybe I have some personal preferences about control maps that are lower in the tier list. Oasis, but I do feel like Nepal does get a decent amount of playtime, especially because it allows you to kind of build momentum on a specific composition. I'm thinking about Oasis, even Lijiang Tower. You have these maps where you really are more so locked into a very specific comp just for that sub-map. Control Center, very, very hard to run dive on Lijiang Tower in that sub-map. And then on the side of Oasis, you go to City Center, maybe a little bit harder to run that dive. You go to University, or to run that brawl, you go to University though, and that brawl is going to be really favored. Nepal, however, a lot of these sub-maps are very brawl favored and rush favored. Yes, there is a little bit of high ground that you can control, and I think that on Sanctuary we've been seeing, or Sanctum, we've been seeing a little bit more of some poke compositions that come in, but all in all, this is where you could essentially just run a rush composition through the entire sub-maps, and you'd be totally fine with it. Now, of course, we are going to be having hero bans coming through as well, so that is going to be shifting things up when it comes to these team compositions. So the way that it works is that Concordia is going to get to have the first ban here. So of course they will not be able to ban out 2 of any role. So we see a tank ban coming in from the side of Concordia. It is going to be the Zarya ban coming out here. I'll make sure I get that updated over on my hero bans. So no Zarya here, so taking that off the map right away is pretty big kind of hit to the compositions that have been pretty popular, right? The Zarya Vendetta, the Zarya Reaper. Now, in response to that Zarya ban, of course, no tank ban coming through for the side of CESU. They got to opt for a DPS or a support ban. It's going to be the Tracer ban that comes in. So, another, pretty strong DPS here. Pretty good one to be taking out of the meta, especially if you're not running that Zarya. You might have a harder time running that Vendetta composition. Tracer could really just kind of run wild there. So taking the Tracer out, interesting play here. This does, of course, mean that neither of these teams are going to be able to re-ban those tanks. So Concordia is not going to be able to ban out Zarya again throughout this best of 5. So it is a first to 3 here. So there's a potential to go the distance. Both teams are ready. We're going to head on in to Nepal. Let's take a look at what submap we're ending up on here. Is going to be Shrine to start things out here. Oh, let me swap sides here. We are going to have... Nope, I got it right. CSU is on the blue team here. Ooh, looking like some Domina gameplay coming in from Not Indem. I'm super excited for this. The TP's out from both Jaw and Lean here. And it's going to need to swap over Genji for both here. A near mirror composition, save for that tank and Jim Bionicle around that Leon instead of Lucio. Let's see how Pikazan can fare against this Domina with the Sigma. You definitely want to try and get as much poke damage in early as you can against this tank. It is going to be CESU claiming control of the point here, but that is the problem with Domina is once you kind of get the space on her, she has no mobility to get away from that, and Jaw just, actually he's going to get punished, but not before taking out Lizzie here, and the numbers still going to be favoring Concordia. Up this first control here on Shrine. Doesn't look like there's going to be any swaps coming through here for the side of CSU. Interesting running the Lucio with this Domina. You do kind of have this rush component to things, but it's a little bit hard. You're very stalwart tank is actually the flip is going to come through here for CESU. I'm not sure how Concordia manages to not get a toe on the point here. Amigo does have this Kitsune rush building up quite quickly here, but already the overclock ready to go for the Sojourn is going to be taken down on the side of CESU, and it is an opening potentially for Concordia to come back into things as CSU have managed to grab the lead here. AFK Noob going to pick up Fridge Magnet as well. The numbers are definitely in favor of Concordia. Just hard to really push into this Domina. There we go. Taking out Lean is going to open things up. Jim Bionicle is going to find a second one before getting taken down here. And that is going to be the recontest here. A patient recontest coming through from Concordia. And nice to not have to use any ultimates in that fight if you're Concordia, but CSU held onto their ultimates as well. Jaw met by Lean here on the high ground. First ult in the fight is going to be that Gravitic Flux. The Panopticon did get sent out. Not sure it actually connected on to anyone though, and the Kitsune Rush here from Lizzie going to allow her team to fight on this point. Do have the whole team with you though, and she's trying to do the damage. She's not able to find it here, and that is going to be Concordia holding on to this point. Just that Gravitic Flux that was committed into that fight here. So very economical here for Concordia. Some big ultimates for them to work with here. But there's of course going to be a blade on the side of CSU. And of course there's no Lucio on the side of Concordia. Alright, it is going to be a Tidal Blast over onto the blade, and Genji does connect, but the beat from Fridge Magnet is good. Keeps everybody from CSU alive. Chloe isn't able to find any kills with that overclock, creating some space here, and there's the played from the other side of things. CCSU slicing and dicing, finds two, manages to find Amigo, who got the TP away just in time. Just Kazam on the point here, and it is going to be a good little chunk of shields for the Sigma, but not going to be enough in a 3 versus 1. And at 94% on the board here for Concordia, yes, you are going to flip things over in their favor, but it cost them every ultimate in the bank here. Karapi skin on the Lucio, really appreciating these beats. All right, AFK Noob has this overclock ready to go. Just waiting on the side here, looking to jump out. Here it is, trying to catch somebody from CESU off guard, but the Domina is there with the shield, and the Kitsune Rush from Amigo is not going to be timed well enough to keep the Sojourn alive. Domina falling very, very low, though, not into managing to stay alive through that. Now it's the Grenade Flux that is going to be committed, catches two, takes out the Lucio, takes out Domina as well. And Pikazam falling quite low. The overtime has been triggered. Concordia at that 99% here. It is just the Sojourn and the Kiriko. Now just the Sojourn alive. Amigo gonna shut down both of them. Overtime is gone. That is gonna be Concordia picking up the first point here on Nepal. Amigo on support, also very true. Yes, I was anticipating that Amigo was going to be on the tank here. But hey, I mean, finishing off that fight with 2 final blows and getting a whole lot of value in between that as well. As we can see, you know, 1 death here for Amigo. The tank making a good flex over onto the support role for Concordia. Alright, we head over to Sanctum here. The sub-map I was mentioning, you might be able to get away with a little bit more poke here, so Pikazam might have the upper hand here against the Domina on this map. We'll have to see if there's any other swaps that come through. Amigo is looking to move over onto the Baptiste here. No changes for the side of CESU. See what they can get done on this more enclosed map here. You can see that Fridge Magnet is more positioning kind of on the off angle with the Genji here because that Domina is so stagnant in the front line. Damage taking the Ace. Gotta be careful! Yeah, that shard from the Domina gonna do a big chunk of damage. Amigo is gonna end up falling here, and this is where that split that you have between the Genji and the core really coming in clutch here for the side of CESU. The team kill comes through, and they're gonna start building percentage here on Sanctum. Yes, kill feed is bugged, I fear. I know, it's been the bane of our existence for a couple of months now, unfortunately. D-Flex forced out here. Jaw in a dangerous position. 2 versus 1 is going to be every matchup that this Genji comes into. Okay, well, not if Jim Bionicles has anything to say about it. Fridge Magnet has been taken down, and Jim Bionicles on quite the flank right now. Does have AFK Noob with him to try and make this happen. Presence on the point now for the side of Concordia, and nobody from CCSU is even going to go in for that recontest. Ooh, okay, not Indom actually did consider it, but gets split from the rest of his team and gets cut down. Sam finding Fridge Magnet. Poor Fridge Magnet just walked back into this fight to get hit with the boulder and sent back to spawn. Ooh, AFK Noob getting very, very aggressive here. The heals are there, though, to keep the Sojourn alive, and late kill onto Lizzie here. Good positioning now for the side of Concordia. You have a Gravitic Flux to work with and that Tidal Blast. Alt and Panopticon coming online for the side of CESU. It's going to be hard. This Kitsune Rush is going to be hard to use to kind of open engage on this point because there's so many corners. Alright, there's the Kitsune Rush out. Ooh, I think that actually got canceled because they got slammed into the wall. Now it's the Tidal Blast out over onto Jaws on the Genji. Did not have a blade to work with, but still making great use of that ultimate. The double kill coming through here. The deep flex actually from the shards, and that is good stuff for the side of Concordia to hold on to this choke point. Cross that 50% threshold on the point as well. They managed to hold on to a Kitsune Rush or build up. Oh no, I was gonna say build up to a Kitsune Rush, but Amigo loses his life there, and that's the go button now. There's 3 ultimates here for the side of CESU to work with. Are they gonna need any? Now you have 4 to go with. You need to clean this fight up quickly. That Kiriko is gonna get back into things quite quickly. AFK Noob trying to get something out here. It is the beat in response from Fridge Magnet. Connects on to all 5 from CESU, and that means that AFK Noob not gonna find any kills with that. Big Panopticon here connects onto Pikazam and onto Amigo. The Kiriko very, very low. The combo with SJ Loon on this Genji does mean that CCSU are going to come out on top of this just in time as well. 90% on the board here. The team kill coming through. One more fight win is needed for Concordia to pick up Sanctum here and pick up the first map in the series. Blade from Jaw to work with to try and make it happen. They know that the beat is not available for the side of CESU, but Sojourn Overclock is available here, so you gotta be kind of careful of that one. Wide open space here, a lot of opportunity for the Sojourn to play on an angle. Alright, there is the Overclock coming out, the Genji duel happening in the cave, and it is gonna be CESU that comes out on top of that duel. Oh, the rock from downtown. Pikazam does connect onto the Sojourn, briefly delaying that Overclock. Didn't actually end up finding any kills with that Overclock, but it does create a lot of damage and some space being created here. Oh, not Indum gets caught in that disruptor field from AFK Noob, and you lost your tank, you lost your main support. Luke has to commit this Kitsune Rush on the point just to try and make something happen. This flip cannot be allowed to go through. And she alive on the point, trying to find something, does find Jim Bionicle, somehow manages to get out and get the Mega as well. Touch is going to have to come through very, very shortly here. Slizzy manages to get the Suzu off just in time to keep herself alive, and that is going to be an Pikazam responding here. Gravitic Flux doesn't connect onto anything. Is Jaw going to have any better luck with this blade? No, he is not. Lizzie shuts that down. Overtime down now. It is the flip that comes through from CESU, and now Concordia in a very, very rough spot to try and come back into this. Pikazam gets the Tidal Blast, not only hits the rock onto not into, but gonna hit that Tidal Blast as well. AFK has another Overclock ready to go. Shut down though, Chloe. As that railgun, that's all that's needed. Not worried about the Overclock as well. Blade here on the points for the side of CESU. The overtime is in the favor of CESU. They just need to clean up these Concordia members, and with the Blade and the Panopticon, that is going to be enough. Quad kill coming through here for the Genji, and that is Sanctum picked up here by CESU, and they're going to tie this map up 1-1. 1-1. Quickly opening up my team sheet here. My Genji is, the CESU Genji is Pinkie Pie and NJ Brav. I'm gonna try to remember that. I hope chat can remember that as well. I do want to call them by the names that they've given me. Alright. Pinkie Pie swapping over on to the Sim here. Jaw gonna match that Sim as well. Just the TP to give us one. Looks like both of these teams are set up for a high ground fight here. It makes a lot of sense when you have these Sojourn mirrors. You want to be able to control this space on the high ground. Alright, TP out. Now, importantly, CESU does have the Lucio. They're gonna have a little bit more distance to work with here. That speed of a spawn can make all the difference. Pinkie Pie is over onto that Genji. Same comps here for the team. A lot of space being controlled by CESU right now, and that is just the power of the Lucio. But Concordia fighting back by trying to get some angles here. Oh, the Sigma very low, and yeah, he is going to end up falling there. The point has opened. That is going to be CESU starting out the cap here on Village. It's a regroup in the books for Concordia. Not too many ults built up to just yet. Not very long of a fight. It is going to be CESU getting set up on this high ground. Once again, they really do want to stop this choke point against Concordia, but Concordia really want to take this high ground. Deflect out here from Jaw does a whole chunk of damage, but the 6 shields from Pikazam has already fallen here. CeSU forced out as well. Gonna make it hard to try and push in here, but Concordia trying to make it happen. Pinkie Pie is gonna shut down AFK, who is trying to push out and get a little bit of space here. Jaw falling low. He's going to be taken down by NJ Brav there, and unfortunately for Concordia, they are just having a very, very hard time trying to push onto this high ground, and it is because they're running into this Domina, this tank that's able to just kind of stay mobile, put out so much spam damage. So I like this rotation coming through from Concordia now. I'm going to try a little bit more kind of open space on the low grounds, though. You got to be careful. Panopticon is ready to go. Not Indum looking to force out some cooldowns. That Kinetic Grasp is out now, but be careful. That shield can block the Domina ult as well. Alright, there it is. The Panopticon connects on to the Sigma. Yeah, you don't even need it to explode. All the damage is there anyways. Jaw made it his way onto the point, but going to be able to get a flip. Does manage to get out, though. That's pretty big for the Genji. Not going to get staggered here. Alright, Concordia just seem to have hit a wall here. They only got that Panopticon out from the side of CCSU. They have ults to work with for themselves here, but they need a little bit of space to work with. Pushing in here, Amigo finding the opening big, but does get traded out right away. It's the Blade, it's the beat, it's the Overclock committed from the side of CCSU. The Kitsune Rush on the point for Concordia to try and make use of, but the damage has already been done. That is going to be a team kill to finish out Nepal here. 100% to 0 is CESU really found their groove on that composition.
Play of the game.
Pinkie Pie gonna pick up the play of the game. The Genji here for the side of CESU. All right. So, up one now for the side of CESU, and this does mean that there is going to be a little bit of a benefit here for the side of Concordia. They are going to be in control of where we go for the next map type. So map type number 2, it has to be a hybrid or it has to be an escort. So you're going to pick between the two, and then CESU is going to respond with a ban on one of those maps, and then you will get to pick the map itself if you're Concordia. So decent amount of power in their hands right now, which is good to have because you really do want to try and fight back, win on your map pick. Now, this was Nepal. I'm checking back here. Nepal was the map pick of CESU. So, you know, you would have loved to win it for sure if you're Concordia, but now you have the power to put yourself onto a map that you are most comfortable on, and not just that, but controlling the mode as well is going to be very, very helpful here. So far, this dominant composition has looked absolutely fantastic from the side of CESU. Concordia definitely has to give a little think about how they're going to try and approach that. Unfortunately, did not seem like the Sigma was really working for them, especially I think just on Village. Some really, really hard choke points on that map. So once the dominant composition is able to kind of get set up, it's really hard to kind of walk into that, so we'll have to see where Concordia ought to take us, because they do also have, of course, you know, Hero Band in the back pocket, but this is the first to 3 here, so map number 2, where you're not at a match point, maybe you don't want to come out swinging with the Dominant Band just yet. You might want to hold that until you know that you really, really need it. I'm thinking like a map 3 if you're down 2 kind of a situation here, but it's something to keep in mind that they can always go for that ban when they feel it's needed. We know at least what map type we are going to next. So it is going to be an escort map selected here for the side of Concordia. Now we await what the map ban is going to be. So a reminder as well, the way that CCL works is that all of the maps that are available in competitive play, except for Watchpoint Gibraltar, are available in the map pool. So to counteract that giant map pool, there are map bans that come in. A little bit different than some leagues, I think, so it's fun to have a little bit more strategy kind of involved in these things. So escort gonna be our next map, but we are going to have one of those maps banned out here. Now, I am thinking if I'm CESU and I really want to run this dominant composition, we should probably ban something where Domina's going to have a hard time. I'm thinking something that has high grounds to control. Now, of course, Gibraltar's not in it, so you're not going to be worried about that one. But it is going to be the Route 66 ban coming out from the side of CESU. So we are going to be heading over to... Let's get it in our overlay here. Concordia has opted to take us over to Circuit Royale. Oh, let's update the score as well so we know who won out Nepal here. There we go. Yeah, Circuit Royale gonna come out for map number 2, courtesy of Concordia University. Now, I do think that this makes a lot of sense if you want to run the Sigma composition, which has looked, you know, pretty good, honestly. The Sigma has looked strong. It was really just when Concordia got up into Village that they were really having a hard time kind of finding the value. Might be able to use that kind of poke damage that you're really looking for on Circuit Royale instead, where you have these really long sight lines, and it's going to be a little bit harder, I think, to run the Domina here because it is a very stationary tank. You don't have a whole lot of mobility. If you do get poked out and you have your shield forced out, it's a pretty long cooldown to sit and wait for that to come back online. And unlike Sigma, the Domina doesn't have another cooldown to kind of cycle through to try and keep that defensive capability going, where the Sigma is able to kind of go between the kinetic grasp and the barrier. It's a little bit harder to kind of run that, but we are going to have the hero bans coming in here. So on the side of Concordia, they do get to have the first hero ban, and it is going to be the Widowmaker ban coming through here. And on the other side of things, it's a Sigma ban actually coming through here from CESU. I think that that is a very, very good read on what they're anticipating to be played for the side of Concordia. So smart ban here from CESU. I do really like the Widowmaker ban as well, though. If you don't feel like you are wanting to run a Widowmaker of your own, absolutely go for the Widow ban here. Not only are you going to be safe from, you know, at least one of the one-shot potentials in the game, but it's also just going to allow you to have more space to work with. Widowmaker just existing in a game forces you to play in a very different style than what you would if you didn't have that long-range, high-impact DPS available here. All right, taking a look at the defensive composition to start things out. CESU is going to be starting out on the defense. No swaps here, so we are going to be having Pinkie Pie on the Echo and NJ Brav on the Sojourn. Fridge Magnet is going to move over. Oh, actually, okay. So no roster swaps, but a composition swap here. I like the Wuyong Baptiste here for Circuit. Definitely much more of kind of a poke style map. You know, very classic poke map, honestly. So this is going to allow you to do some more damage here. I am also really liking seeing Jim Bionicles over on this Iari. I have seen his Iari. I know that it is very, very strong, and he's definitely going to be able to put out some damage numbers here. Pikazam, no Sigma to work with here, so he's going to flex over on to the Ramatra. AFK noob deletes Fridge Magnet from the game. The Wuyong gone, and the Lamp also gone. Lizzie falling, and there's no supports here for the side of CESU. Concordia have come out of the spawn point, just absolutely swinging here. Not Indom does manage to get out alive here, so that's nice that you don't have to worry about a stagger kill after losing your Baptiste, but there's still a lot of progress that Concordia is going to be able to gain here. Railgun ready to go, just trying to find an opening through that shield. Not quite going to connect onto Pinkie Pie. The Echo doing a good chunk of damage, but the cover is there for AFK Noob. Trying to stay alive. The cart is nearly at that checkpoint here. The dive in from Jaw is going to be punished. No, manages to stay alive through that to deflect at least enough to do the damage outside of that disruptor boost. Pikazam has actually fallen here. The Nemesis form not going to be enough, and the trade's coming through, but the contest still on the point here. Not going to be enough. Jim Bionicles finding the headshot onto Lizzie Lee. Team kill here for the side of Concordia. Cap up the first point on Circuit. 5 minutes in the time bank here. Average rank on these universities. I'm not totally sure what the rank is. This is open division for CCL, so this is going to be the lowest tier. It goes open and then challengers in between here. So, yeah, I guess chat has a better idea of what the ranks are here. We do have the sun ready to go here for Jim Bionicles. It's gonna be the amplification matrix on the Leo to start things out, though. Not Indom has moved over to match this Ramatra, and ooh, yeah, AFK Noob doing a whole lot of damage with that amplification matrix. The railgun is gonna take out J Bruv. There is Sun committed into things here. The Tidal Blast actually going out onto Lizzie. Keeps her alive for a moment, but not much longer than that. And I mean, that's barely even a fight that happens here on the second point of Circuit as Concordia just rolling through this Circuit map. Now 5.5 minutes in the time bank to work with. You commit both the support ultimates there, but still holding on to the DPS ultimates and that annihilation here. DPS ultimates ready to go on to the side of CCSU as well. They're set up on this high ground tire, trying to deny this space from Concordia. They know that AFK Noob wants to get up here, so does Jim Bionicles on the Iari as well. Actually seems like almost everybody from Concordia trying to rotate to get up onto this high ground. See which one of these teams is going to use the ult first. So far, Concordia has been very good about it, and it is going to be the blade pulled out. Both ults from the side of CCSU committed as well. The duplicate does end up dying, but the damage is already done as there it is. CCSU finally going to find some stabilization here on Circuit, but dang, did it cost a lot. No ults in the bank. You got not in them trying to build up to this annihilation here. The only ult on the board. Ooh, Pinkie Pie actually has gone back to spawn, swapped over onto the Bastion here, so Operation Melt the Tank, but it is actually Concordia that's winning in that operation. Annihilation ready to go here from Pikazam, just waiting out this Bastion form from Pinkie Pie. Ooh, Jaw though, getting a little impatient there. It does end up actually paying for that with his life. The cart is still moving forward here for Concordia though, and now Annihilation and Amplification Matrix ready to go. Nottingham has not been able to build up to that Annihilation. Well, Pikazam has committed quite far in, trying to get back around the corner, manages to do just that. Big lamp from Amigo to try and keep that tank alive. Annihilation now committed here from the side of Pikazam, but it is going to be Nottingham that fills that one up as well, trying to stay alive. Amplification matrices from both Baptistes to try and keep these tanks alive as well. It does seem like it's going to be CESU that come on top of that tank amplification matrix battle here. Amigo caught out in no man's land and going to be taken down. Another fight win on the board here for CESU. Still a very large time bank here for Concordia to work with. Sun ready to go here for Jim Bionicles. AFK Noob building up to another overclock as well, leading NJ Bruv a little bit here in that ult percentage. So Tidal Blast is ready to go for Bridge Magnet. We've mostly been seeing that used kind of in response to trying to keep people alive here. Jim Bionicles very, very low. Bridge Magnet trying to look for the kill, but is not able to find it in. Actually falling very low here. Jim Bionicles is going to take him down. Here's the Sun committed in here. The lamp comes out, but the Sun's going to go right through that. Big damage on to the Bastion and onto the tank, and Jim Bionicles not done just yet. As the payload rolls forward here, NJ Bruv has swapped over onto the Venture, will get a touch at least for a moment here. Tidal Blast over onto the Venture as well, can't stay alive though, as AFK Noob set up a little bit further back, has the overclock, and is just taking pot shots. Fantastic job here from Concordia, completing the map with 2 minutes and 18 seconds in the time bank. A little bit less than that 5.5 minutes, but still a very, very healthy time bank here on Circuit Royale. Big Mac says open teams are around 3.5 to 4. Big Mac is the GOAT. Big Mac knows. Alright, this is a big hill now for CESU to try and climb. You need to complete Circuit Royale. You really want to do it with time as well. 2 minutes and 18 is a fantastic time bank to have if you have to head into those overtime rounds. On the defense here, no surprise in the composition that we are getting to see for the side of Concordia.
Hello,
Could we see the Mauga? I do know that Nottingham's favorite hero is the Mauga. If you want to go for a high damage burst comp, this is it. This could be a cheeky over the top kind of a strat as well. You get the life lever pedal over on the side. The Mauga charges over the top. You can combo that with the damage from the Vendetta and from the Freya. I think that they're going for it, honestly. I am excited to see this. Yeah, lurking here, waiting. How are we going to get the beautiful cinematic of this? This might be the angle that we're looking for. Charge over the top, stomp in, splits the Baptiste, but doesn't end up finding a kill onto the Baptiste. Oh, there it is, the Vendetta cleaning things up. The pull does come through to keep this Malga alive, and another stomp coming through. Now, Not In Him does end up dying here, but looks like the damage has been done. It is still Jaw lurking behind here. He's going to end up following the boot from Fridge Magnet, sends the Genji back, and then Not In Him going to swap over on to the Ramatra. It's cheeky. I love this play from the side of CESU, but maybe not going to buy as much time as necessarily hoped. Would really love to have gotten some more staggered kills from that fight. Everybody from the side of Concordia is going to be back into the fight now. Going to be able to take this fight out of this third corner here. Poke damage coming through. You have to be really careful though, because there's NJ Grub on that Hanzo. Oh, the Ram falling very, very low. Not In Him is going to end up falling, but I did manage to take out AFK Noob and Amigo here. Not going to survive long enough though. It is a 3 versus 2 on the point here. Pikazam's still alive and well though, so it's going to be very, very hard for CESU to try and win out this fight. There's so much damage from this tank and so much damage from Jim Bionicles. Does end up getting taken down from a headshot, but it is still Pikazam holding strong on the point here. The respawns are fairly similar around this point of or this spot on First Point Circuit. Everybody's going to be getting back into this fight essentially at the same time. Not too many long, drawn out kills there. There's going to be the Dragons coming online for NJ Bruh, but the Annihilation is already ready to go here for the side of Concordia. Dragons in, it's going to start things off here. We do have Pikazam split off. Annihilation is still ready to go here. It's Not In Him pushing a little bit too far here, and that is going to be the trigger for the Annihilation to be pulled here for the side of Pikazam, finding Lizzie on lean. And yeah, it's going to be NJ Bruv jumping off the edge there for the reset. A minute and a half on the clock here for the side of CESU. NJ Bruv is going to swap over onto the Sojourn here, try and make something happen. Some big ultimates coming online for the side of CESU. It's going to be the Sun's still ready to go here for Jim Bionicle. And AFK is going to be able to build up to an overclock pretty soon here as well. CESU needs to do something, need to make something happen. It's going to be the Kitsune rush in, and oh, a blade from the sky does not connect onto AFK Noob though. The Sojourn hiding behind a small little wall, and that's enough to keep her alive. Here's the Sun coming through now. AFK has ended up falling. The CeSU in time here for Lizzie to stay alive, but will she be able to dodge the bullets coming in from Jim Bionicle? Yes, she will. Pikazam has punished that Vendetta for pushing a little bit too far. It's a Nemesis fight on the point, but Pikazam gets blowed up pretty quickly on that one. And there we go, 40 seconds left, but CESU managed to cap up the first point here. Annihilation still ready to go for CESU, but good ult cycling on the side of Concordia, trying to get a stagger kill onto AFK Noob, but the rest of Concordia is there to make sure that they create the space so that Sojourn can walk out safely. AFK has this silver clock ready to go, has been so good about really getting the damage with it. Just needs the space to work with here. And the blade available as well for Jaw. A good ult advantage to have here if you're Concordia, but they'd really love to be able to just not have to commit anything, just kind of find an opening pick and go from there. The longer this fight goes on, though, there's ults that are being built up to on CESU. Here's the blade from Jaw. Out first, finds Fridge Magnet and the dash through NJ Bruv as well. Lizzie is going to end up taking down that Genji, so CESU still down in numbers, though, and going to try to get the TP out, but it's not meant to be. Jim Bionicle's gonna find that headshot. The supports for the side of Concordia really showing up in the kill feed on that one. Very economical fight here from Concordia. Great patience. Waiting for some cooldowns to come out before they commit those ultimates. Making sure that you're gonna get the value with the blade that you're looking for. Long enough fight that CESU have built up some ults to work with here, though. The Annihilation's still ready to go from Not In Him. This Kitsune rush ready for Lizzie, and she's going to be able to potentially match the one coming in from Amigo. Kitsune rush out first from Lizzie, and it is going to be that match coming through. Annihilation is met with an overclock. Not In Him is eating so much damage from not only the Annihilation from Pikazam, but also from that overclock from the side of AFK Noob. It is going to be Pinkie Pie that ends up falling first. The support's so very low from Concordia, but NJ Prob is not able to find those final blows. Fridge Magnet is going to be able to pick up one, though. The Tidal Blast is out onto the Ramatra. Not end up walking for it. It does connect on to Pikazam, but the follow-up damage is just not there, and it is there for the side of Concordia. AFK Noob taking down the tank here. Jim Bionicle finding Fridge Magnet as well, and now it's just staggered kills here for the side of Concordia as they're sending CCSU back to spawn one by one.
That feels much better. This is a leg up.
Not a whole lot of time in the bank here for CESU. They need to find a way to break this high ground control that Concordia have. It's still a long way to go after you're able to even cap this point. You still gotta go all the way through the third point of circuit. Sun online here for Jim Bionicle. So the fadeaway shot onto NJ Prub, and well, that is not good at all for CESU. It's just taking so much poke damage here. All right, there's the Sun in. Ooh, doesn't actually end up connecting here. Jim Bionicle's, I think, a little bit worried about that Diva Matrix eating things up, but it's going to be the rest of Concordia finding Elam. The support's now gone from the side of CESU. The blade doesn't connect on to anything, but it is going to be Pinkie Pie at least finding one here, finding two. The Annihilation on the point for Pikazam, though, and the overtime trickling down. That is going to be Concordia finding the win over on circuit. Tying this series up 1-1.
Play of the game.
Oh, Lizzie, getting the play of the game. You love to see a support getting some recognition here. Yeah, at the very end, the healing support combo. Very good here. Okay, this is a series. I'm very excited for this. All right, let's update the score here on circuit. That was 3-2 for the side of Concordia. So map number 3, we do know what map type we are going to, at least because map number 3 has to be a push map. I believe, yes, there will still be a ban that comes out, so it is going to be Concordia. They get to ban out one of the 4 push maps, and then we'll have CESU select which push map we are going to be going on over to. Should be an interesting one. I see this a lot, but the push maps do play fairly similarly to each other, so being able to ban one out is really just going to be kind of about comfort. Tragically, I see here in the Canadian Collegiate League, New Queen Street, Toronto banned out very, very frequently, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if that is the ban that comes through. It does play a little bit differently compared to the other push maps, where you have kind of this awkward sort of a mix between high ground and like low ground. Runasapi, you don't have a whole lot of high ground to control, but you have some really, really nice long sight lines. And then Esperanza, of course, you have some nice high ground. Coliseo, although you don't have a whole lot of high ground, save for the bridges, it's those long sight lines. Feels like New Queen Street, it's hard to get advantage of those long sight lines, and it's hard to get advantage of the high ground, because the high ground in the main section of the plan is like kind of enclosed, has awkward kind of windows in it. But as I'm saying that, okay, it is the Esperanza ban that's actually going to come out here from Concordia. And that does, of course, mean that CESU get to select what push map that's not Esperanza we will be heading on over to, and they have opted to take us to my personal favorite push map. It is Runasapi. Definitely a favorite among the CCL teams as well. I feel like I end up on this map quite a bit in these co-streams. Now we'll have the bans coming through, of course. So it will be CESU that get to start with the first ban. And it is going to be a Genji ban coming out, so that is a pretty hard target onto Jaw, I do believe. So we'll have to see how Concordia are going to respond to that. And of course, will not be with a DPS ban. It's going to have to be a tank or a support here on Runasapi. Again, like I said kind of last time, the dominant ban is in the back pocket, but maybe you don't want to pull it out. I mean, we didn't... I think that the Ram kind of swap was a really big play here for the side of Concordia, forcing not Indom to mirror that Ramatra. It definitely felt like a little bit of maybe a struggle for CESU, a little bit more used to kind of playing the dominant compositions here, which I am also a fan of. That being said, though, we are going to have a swap here for the side of CESU. We are going to have Pudge coming in here on that tank role. So, what will that say about what tanks we end up on? I don't know. Pudge did have his favorite tank listed as Winston here, so maybe some dive. Don't necessarily know that it's the strongest on Runasapi, but you never know. We could end up on some dive, or maybe a little Junker Queen mirror matchup. A girl can dream. Oh, time to... right. We have the other ban coming in here. Ooh, it's gonna be a Lucio ban. Okay. Kind of cooking with this one, honestly. Where you're running these kind of rush compositions, having that Lucio banned out, I mean, both teams, save for Circuit, okay, Circuit is, you know, wild card here, but on Nepal, both teams were kind of running that Lucio. Oh, actually, we did have Fridge Magnet. No, it was Jim Bionicles on the Wuyong, actually. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll see what these backlines are going to end up looking like here as, wow, thank you for the follow, or the bits, thank you. Sorry, all of the all of the stream notifications are exactly the same sound, so I have a bit of a struggle knowing what is what. Alright, Runasapi, let's head into things. It's map number 3. We're all tied up in this series here. No Genji and no Lucio here. What are these teams gonna cook up for us? Ah, Pudge coming in to potentially play the Zarya. That would make a lot of sense here. Okay. Is CESU going to stick on the Brig Juno backline? I have not been seeing a whole lot of Brig Juno. Alright, well, Lucio out of the mix, so I guess Brig Juno it is for the side of CESU. Concordia sticking more with a similar flavor that they've already been knowing. It is going to be Jaw over on the Vendetta, though, and AFK Noob over on the Cassidy here. So now we're going to get this Vendetta matchup, but it is going to be Pinkie Pie that has this Zarya bubble to work with here. So Jaw has to be very, very patient. Wait a little bit more for the poke damage to come in before you go in. All right, there it is. Not going to actually connect onto anything there. Just trying to grab his face. Oh, gets punished here as Pinkie Pie is going to be able to find the first kill here, but it's very, very low. Has to wait and find some healing, and with all the poke damage that is available for Concordia, that is just not going to happen for you as the triple kill comes through for Concordia, and we are going to... Jim Bionicles, I think, with 3K here. Fantastic job from Concordia to clean up those staggered out kills. Gonna start moving the barricade forward here. Fantastic start for Concordia. We have to try and keep this momentum going here. Now, for the side of CCSU, where you have the Zarya and you have this Juno, you really want to be trying to go super fast in these comps here. So it's all about kind of finding the timing on these engagements. You need your Vendetta to be able to get in and confirm a kill. There's not a whole lot of follow-up, although it is going to be NJ buff across the Cassidy here, so you are on the Cassidy, so you're at least going to have that consistent damage. Little Vendetta damage on the side here. Pinkie Pie is not coming out better for it, but Fridge Magnet is alive and well on the Nikita to make sure that his Vendetta stays alive, at least momentarily. That is going to be the Vendetta falling down here. And that is also going to be Concordia picking up the checkpoint here, getting forward spawn starting out for them. They're continuing this momentum going as well. This barrier still pushing forward. Pudge has punished Jaw for the extension on that Vendetta here. Now you really need to clean up if you're CESU. You take down Kazam onto the start and dividing Amigo. But again, everybody, I think, okay, save for Amigo is going to get the wave spawn here, but everybody on the side of Concordia is going to get this forward spawn here. And big ultimates for them to work with as they come back in. It's going to be a fight happening at this kind of center point here. I suspect we see the Tidal Blast go over onto the Vendetta. It is going to be the Orbital Ray from Lizzie to start things off for her team. It is a Gravitic Flux from Pikazan. It catches up Lizzie. Ooh, she manages to stay alive just a little bit, and the rally is massive from Fridge Magnet here. Gonna stun them up, and that's gonna allow Pinkie Pie to slice him down as team kill comes through, and CESU finally getting a little bit of progress on this spot here. Both support ults committed into that fight for CESU, but you're gonna have the DPS ultimates to work with. Just the Flux committed from the side of Concordia there, so really good read on whether or not they were winning that fight. We have pretty much everything to work with. It's gonna be AFK starting out with this Deadeye, creating some space here, creating some splits. It's all about the timing! Ooh, and actually does a good chunk of damage there. Amigo, though, is going to be the one finding the ellipse there. Pushing forward, and even gonna put himself on bot duty here, so that is good for Concordia to take back control of this bot. Forward spawn was not picked up by CESU there, so it's a long walk back for these supports. I don't know that they're actually in this fight yet. Okay, they are gonna be back into things, so you are at least gonna have the heal start to work with. The grab is in, and the Southern Blade is in. It does connect. Despite that Kitsune Rush being available for the side of Concordia, the healing is not going to be enough to cut through that big chunk of damage. Tidal Blast goes over onto Jaw. The bubble is there to actually stop that slam from coming in, though, and that's going to be the punish, courtesy of the Brigitte. This brings Juno comp, I mean, holding fairly strong when it's really about kind of being able to hit those whip shots. It's a lot of pressure on the Brigitte, but if you can get the whip shot onto Jaw when the engagement comes through from the Vendetta, that's going to allow you to try and survive through these. And here it is, CESU picking up the checkpoint on getting their forward spawns active here. Sundering Blade ready to go from Jaw. Looking to go from the heavens, but oh no, it's a Deadeye on the other side. Jaw has to be very careful. Yeah, you're just a sitting duck up there. No, the Vendeta's gonna end up falling. And nice shots coming through from NJ Brub as well. Still staying in this fight is Concordia, but not if the headshots keep coming through there. Jim Bionicles with a parting gift of death onto the Cassidy, but that's it. That is CESU getting the lead here on Rumisapi. And of course, the forward spawn still active for them as well. But NJ Brub does have a long walk back here, even from that close spawn. So it's actually going to be the disengage. Yeah, coming through here from the side of CESU. Going to wait for their Sojourn to get back into things. As AFK has also gone over on to the Sojourn here. The Gravitic Flux ready to go from Pikazam. Love to try and get some of these bubbles out before you go in and try and hit that. There's one out, and you're going to catch the Zarya in things here. Oh, it's actually going to be the death onto the Sigma. Now, the slam did come through, so the damage was done on the 5, but Lizzie is there with this Orbital Ray, and going to allow so much healing, so much damage to come out for CESU. It's a team kill coming through here, and now the swap's making an appearance here on the side of Concordia. Pikazam over onto the Ramatra, Amigo on the Judo, and Jaw is going to be bringing out the Farah here, so as long as you can kind of avoid those railgun shots from NJ Brub, you should have a decent time kind of surviving in the sky here on the Farah. Disengage is happening on the side of CESU, but they have ults to work with here. This is into the sky for Pinkie Pie, but not quite pulling that ult out yet. Rally in from Fridge Magnet, and that's going to allow some staying power for CESU on this bot. Ooh, but the poke damage is coming in from the Farah, and that's where this Brig is really going to be struggling to keep up with his healing. Jaw looking for a little angle here, and it's doing a lot. It's actually pushing CESU pretty much all the way back to the next corner here. There's the Sundering Blade out, the grab as well. There's the combo. It catches Amigo as well, even though he wasn't in that Graviton Surge, and that is a heck of a combo. The Sundering Blade will cut through pretty much everything. It'll cut through the sound barrier. It'll cut through the lamp if you hit the lamp first. Jim Bionicles in the back line. Will he get staggered out? Yes, he will. Not going to get that wave spawn with Jaw. Does have the Tidal Blast ready to go for this next engagement, though, and Concordia definitely going to need that to be a very high impact ultimate here. You need to swap things over in your favor. AFK is going to be having this overclock coming online as well. Just going to move on to Pudge there, and a big chunk of damage. Great follow-up from the side of Concordia to really lock down that kill on to the Zarya once she's out of place. And that's all you need. You don't even need to commit any ultimates there. You take out the tank first, and you're gonna have pretty much free reign here. Who's still over here? There is still Pinkie Pie lurking on the bot very low, and Amigo is gonna get that stagger kill. I do believe, yeah, Pinkie, there's a long way to walk back. Nope, yeah, is this a DC? I fear Amigo. Nope, we're good. Just shooting the carpet. Yeah, it's actually going to be a close spawn here for the side of Pinkie Pie. So it'll be another fight on the center point here.
This ends now.
Overclock from NJ Bruv is met with an overclock from AFK2, but it's NJ Bruv coming out on top of this fight here. Another headshot coming through the Sojourn. Tearing apart this Concordia team. The team kill comes through. CESU are back in control of this bot, and I think that Concordia maybe got the forward spawn taken away, but not able to gain really any percentage. They're not able to get that second fight win that they really need. You gotta chain these together if you want to make a comeback here on push. AFK Noob is moving over onto the Reaper now, so notice how much killing the Zarya first worked for them. Oh, the anti-air vendetta. That's pretty impressive here. And I think that it was the Ramatra that got that title blast. Trades that coming through the 1-to-1, but there's Pudge taken out of the fight here. There's an opportunity for Concordia to try and take things back in their favor. You gotta commit the annihilation though. Need to try and find these kills. Ooh, nice little shot there on the Vortex to bring that vendetta down to earth. Because I'm cleaning things up for his team. Once again, Concordia in control here. CCL Live, thank you for the raid. I hope that Rocket League went super fantastic. Welcome over to Overwatch. It's tied up 1-to-1 right now. It's a very close map. CESU looking good here on Runasapi. But Concordia are finally back in control of this spot. The barrage ready to go. Jaw gonna pull it out. Okay, ends up getting traded out here. AFK was taking down Lizzie though, so it's pretty good for Concordia to maybe finally get that second fight in a row. Win, fight, and not if NJ Rob has anything to say about it. It's gonna make it very, very tough. Pikazam on the bot. Overtime has triggered now. So Concordia need to stay on this barricade. Somebody needs to have a foot on it at all times. It's a doable push, but it's going to be very, very difficult because there's a rally, there is a Sundering Blade, and there's a grab coming online for Pudge here as well. That could really just be the game changer. Rally in is going to stun up the Juno. Now Amigo does manage to get that blitz, that strike off, but is it going to be enough here? At least to get the Vendetta a kill. Oh, what a stun! The Death Blossom of AFK Noob canceled out. NJ Bruv does have the overclock here, finding the value. The team kill comes through, and CESU deny the recontest from Concordia. Gonna put themselves at a match point here in the series.
Play of the game.
Right, NJ Bruv with the play of the game here. Oh yeah, fantastic overclock here from the Sojourn.
2 down, cooling down.
The power of controlling an angle, especially when you are hitting your shots, definitely helps here. All right, fantastic stuff here from CESU Red. They are now at, of course, match point. It is a 1st to 3 here. But it is going to be the power now in the hands of Concordia to try and turn this around. So map number 4, it does have to be a flashpoint map here. So we will see where we end up. Now the flashpoint maps, of course, are going to play very, very similarly to those control maps. So this is looking good for Concordia. You had a pretty good showing in Lijiang Tower. You at least got, you know, or on Nepal. So I'm so Lijiang Tower pilled. Every first map is Lijiang Tower. You had a pretty good showing on Nepal. Unfortunately, kind of fell apart on Village for them when they stuck on the Sigma composition into the Domina. So now I am wondering, is this where the Domina ban is going to come into effect? It does seem like CESU has kind of moved away from playing the Domina. We've more ended up into this like Atlas or this sorry, I'm reading the chat. Atlas has been banned. This Ramatra matchup, which kind of goes either way. But we do know Atlas has been banned out. So where will we be going for our Flashpoint map? Well, if it's not, you know, well, I say not Atlas, but people don't really like Atlas either. Alas, it's Surabasa. This is my all-time favorite map, to be honest. One of the maps that, one of the few maps that I have loved since it first came out. Usually I'm a little hesitant on new maps that get released, but loved Surabasa from the start, and even after the rework, still loved Surabasa. Alright, now we are awaiting the hero bans that come through. Alright, so it is going to be Concordia that get to ban out the first hero. And it's going to be the Vendetta band out here. So Pinkie Pie not gonna be on the Sword Lady here for Surabasa. So gonna be, and then I have a sad face in the lobby from Pinkie Pie. It's a tragedy, truly. But this is gonna be an interesting comp, I think, that CESU ends up on. And interesting to see what is CESU going to respond with. Ooh, I love this. It's a Ramatra ban coming through from CESU. So, are we gonna get Domina? Is this gonna be move back over onto Domina? It definitely could be. The Domina versus Sig matchup was very, very good for the Domina. So I think that this could potentially be CESU looking to bring out the Domina and close out this series right here, right now. But Concordia, they have a bit of a better idea, I think, how to play into this Domina now. Controlling some more angles. That was something they really struggled with on Village, where they got 100% to zeroed for Nepal. And I think that they kind of started to realize that, you know, trying to push high top and take the high ground away, although in theory, you definitely want to do that. You want to control the high ground. But if you have all 5 members of your team walking headfirst into a Domina when you have a Sigma on your side, it's just not gonna work. So I think on Surabasa, it's gonna be easier for them to try and control those angles, which will mean that it's gonna be easier to play against this Domina. If this is all speculation, this is just me hoping I'm getting to see the Domina, because Not Indum is back in on the tank here for the side of CESU, and I know that he's got a good Domina now, so we'll have to see what CESU end up with. Match point here for the side of CESU. Over on Concordia, they are fighting to take us to a map number 5. They need to win out Surabasa. Take us over to a hybrid map, which is the last mode that hasn't been played yet. Alright, no Domina on the field, it's Mauga time. Pinkie Pie not on the Vendetta, so going to be over on the Reaper instead.
5, 4.
Jim Bionicles teasing with a jetpack cat. Tragically, no cat to be seen, alas. There's going to be this Poke composition coming through for the side of Concordia. Jaw back over onto the Genji now that that ban has been eliminated. And it's both teams just taking these kind of long angles, each one staring at each other from across the point, which definitely going to be favoring this Concordia composition a little bit better. Some distance really needs to be closed for the side, for the Mauga and for this Reaper to get the highest impact. Okay, brave TP onto the high ground, and it pays off for Pinkie Pie. Unfortunately, AFK Nuva not able to slide away fast enough here, and that's a fantastic engage now for the side of CESU. They're going to be able to get this first point tap as well, and percentage on Flashpoint, of course, builds up pretty quickly here. Bit of a late kill onto Jaw. Not good to get the wave spawn with Amigo. And Lizzie, she's already nearly built up to a Kitsune rush here. I gotta look at what is... It's the healing that she's putting through. Yeah, when you, I guess when you have a Mauga on your team, you can really just pump out the heals, build up that Kitsune rush. All right, again, it's going to be Concordia rotating around this far side here. CESU were happy to really just let this rotation happen and then try and just avoid the damage and go in when there's contest on the point. But Lizzie, she gets caught out there. Jaw doing a great job following up on the damage being put through from that poke composition, and trades coming through here, but it is going to be not end up falling. So yeah, actually I say trades, but it's just the kill feed tricking me here. There's the trade coming through. It's not enough. 79% on the board here for CESU. Not too bad. That's one fight territory, honestly. Win one more fight, you're able to pick up market here. But he's going to be Concordia set themselves up on the point here. Building up to pretty good ultimates here. This blade from Jaw could be massive. Fridge Magnet going to have to keep online for that, of course, though. So we'll have to see what order Concordia wants to use these ults in. Oh, Amigo shutting down Lizzie. Now, she did manage to get that Kitsune rush out, but when you only have the Lucio trying to keep you alive, you gotta clean things up quickly. And, I mean, CESU are doing just that. The Malga able to stay alive on his own without heals for a very long time. And the Reaper, of course, doing big burst damage as well. So now it is CESU that have flipped this over. One fight territory, and the one fight has been claimed here. Market going to go the way of CESU. Concordia just waiting to see where point 2 is. It is going to be Garden. Alright, nice little walk over here. Now, this is going to favor Concordia for not only the setup here, but also for their spawns. This is going to be a little bit closer to the Concordia spawn side. 4 ultimates on the board here for Concordia. It's going to be the title blast on to the Genji, looking for something. It's the blade coming out, trying to find the Lucio, does manage to get him, and to find the second as well. And that's a team kill coming through for Concordia. The Flux actually was committed through that as well, so, you know, a little expensive, but you at least have the overclock and the Kitsune Rush to work with here. And Lizzie does not have the Kitsune Rush, though. Having that advantage is pretty big here for Concordia, but Fridge Magnet managed to hold on to the beat through all of that. I was expecting that the beat was going to be in response to the Flux or the Blade, but neither. Alright, it's going to be a bunch of ults on the point for CESU here. It's the Blender, the Blossom, and the Cage happening here, and yeah, Picky Pie gonna pick up a quad kill, trying to make it a quick double. There we go. Even if you're not the final blows, you at least heard it. Team kill comes through as CESU just bashed their way onto point, courtesy of the ultimate. Overclock going to be overclock for the side of CESU is going to be the only ult on the board here. But you can see that CESU is playing up very, very close here, and, well, of course, Picky Pie is making good use of that. The Reaper looking for a little pinch here now. Nice stomp in, but it is going to be the Flux ready, or the CeSU ready. Jaw actually punishing Lizzie and not Indum, who walked into that tiny little room thinking it was going to be easy pickings, and it was not. The puck did come through for the side of NJ Bruv, and does manage to find Jim Bionicles, but this Sojourn is not going to be able to contest this point, and not even with the help of the Lucio. Good re-engagement coming through from Concordia. You're going to flip this back over. 71% is not quite last fight territory. You're really looking at that kind of 80% for CESU to be one fight away here, especially when the spawn from the side of Concordia is so close. Alright, Kitsune Rush ready to go for Lizzie. Fridge Magnet is getting close to the beat, but not going to have it in time for this blade that's coming online for Jaw. Kitsune Rush is out. Lizzie stays alive through this one, making sure all the healing is coming through, and that means that not Indum gets just push forward. The blade is out, trying to find something. Does connect onto the Sojourn here. The Reaper TP onto point. Jaw needs to be very, very careful. Yeah, there's just too much burst damage and not enough healing. There is the Blossom coming through. Overtime was in favor of Concordia there, so it is the team kill coming through here for the side of CESU, but there is going to be time, I believe, for Concordia to get back into things here. Okay, it is going to be Picky Pie getting up close and personal. Lizzie helping out with that as well, and I mean, you lose one, it's a whole chunk of damage. There's actually not going to even be a touch that comes through for the side of Concordia. CESU now at a map point on Surabasa and a series point here. It's gonna have to be a mini reverse sweep here on Surabasa for Concordia to find their way back into things. This Malga composition plus the Reaper has just proved to be way too much damage for the Sigma composition. Unfortunately, Kikazam is really not able to kind of have the time to burn out some of these cooldowns from the CESU team before he walks in. And when you just take him out head on, it's very hard to win. Oh, it's okay, aggressive charge in here from Not Indem. Does have the Kiriko with him, but yeah, it's not going to be enough healing there. Jaw is going to be able to find that kill. Yes, still alive and well for the side of Concordia here, looking to just clean things up before they get back capped. There they go, team kill comes through for Concordia. Nice angles being controlled by the DPS there. Oh, we didn't see that. The overclock is ready to go for AFK and the title blast for Jim Bionicles. We've seen that go over onto Jaw most times. It's going to be the most mobile hero in the competition here. Not Indem looking to build up to the cage. It's the stomp in. The shield is going to block some of the healing, but there is the title blast over onto the Genji. Jaw not quite able to find a stun, and actually is just going to beat the shots from the Reaper here. Some trades coming through here. It is favoring Concordia though, as Pikazam alive on the point. Slide in from the Sojourn, but this is the thing about the Sigma is you have these cooldowns to cycle through, and despite some valiant efforts here, somehow Pikazam's still alive. Lizzie is gonna have the TP to at least get out here. It looks like the ESU still want to fight this though, despite not having the Sojourn in, still onto this round. Alright, AFK is trying to change that. It's gonna be the overclock out, and it is gonna be the cage, but here's the combo. Needed that to come through as the Malvo is falling so very, very low. It's a flux on the point and misses everybody though. The Kitsune rush from Lizzie comes out here, and the overclock actually is a team kill for CESU. Will at least flip this point over 99% though. Concordia at a fantastic start to their little reverse sweep here. Holding on to the blade from Jaw and taking out Not Indem. Oh, that is massive for Concordia. No Mauga in this means that you're gonna have pretty much a free push onto the point. Jaw with just a little bit of cleanup, fancy footwork here. The team kill comes through. The flip is going to happen here for Concordia, and you can see CESU is not even interested in coming in. They know that there is absolutely no time to try and make that happen. Just playing for the next point, and well, gambling did not pay off for CESU here. Oh, it did. It is Ruins. Okay, actually, gambling paid off. My bad, CESU. I did not realize you had game like that. Beat ready to go from Bridge Magnet. Gonna be used probably in response to this blade that's online for Jaw. A very aggressive push in here, and everybody from CESU is so low there. You have to use the beat into Bridge Magnet. You need to try and stay alive in this. Bridge Magnet is so very, very low, but here's the rest of the team here. Now Concordia has ended up quite split in this comp here. Jim Bionicle's gonna punish that Lucio split. Point has opened, and there is trades on either side. AFK Noob, though, evening things out. There's no support here for the side of CESU. Concordia just needs to get the damage in, and it will be permanent. Save for that Mauga shout, of course. Jim Bionicles is going to fall, but Amigo is still alive here for the side of Concordia, so heals at least still possible for this team as Flip comes through, and Concordia are going to start building percentage here on Ruins. Great ult economy actually for both teams here, but it is going to be Concordia that's leading a little bit. Building up to that blender composition is CESU, but they're going to need a longer fight to try and make that come true. Blade plus Tidal Blast, and I think the dog killed them all before that Tidal Blast even went off, so excellent job from the Genji here, and J Brock going for the reset. Team kill coming through again for Concordia, and I mean, this is a team that has locked in here. They are really, really finding their stride. Really great synergy between these players right now. AFK Noob does have the overclock hiding in a corner, waiting for CS to get in, but oh no, waited a little bit long. Amigo is out of the fight here. Now the Gravitic Flux does catch onto the Lucio. Bridge Magnet now gone. Gotta be careful though, because there is this cage combo ready to go, but it's just gonna be the Blossom committed for now from the side of CESU, and that is gonna be enough to lock down Ruins. 99% again here for Concordia. One more fight, and they will be able to tie up Suravasa and take us to that Palace point. Cage held onto though, and NJ Brother's gonna have this overclock as well, so although you don't have the blender, you are still gonna be able to at least shoot fish in a barrel here if you get enough in the cage. Oh, the rock connects on, and not in him is so low. AFK Noob looking to capitalize on that tanking solo. There's the cage in, immediately does get punished, but you are still in the cage despite that Mauga falling, so Concordia are not going to come out on top in that fight. Party kill onto Jim Bionicles, and another team kill coming through. I feel like I've said that so many times tonight here, but CESU in a good position now. You have the reinforcements arriving though, so you're not going to be able to hold that forward choke that you'd really like to with that Mauga. This is a lot of space actually being gained here from the side of Concordia. You want to play a little bit slow if you're Concordia. You want to build up to this orbital strike. Dog getting busy on the side though, and oh no, not into just charged off the map, but oh, the burn actually happens here. It's overtime on the point here in favor of CESU. Pikazam does find the limb. Concordia trying to stay alive in this, and the AFK Noob making it happen. There is no tank here for the side of CESU, so just no HP on the point. Overtime triggering down, and you can see the 180 from not into. That is Concordia picking up their second sub-map here on Flashpoint. We are going to the decider Flashpoint. It's going to be Palace. Pause request coming through. Rain is not in control. All right, let's go. Pause request coming through, and that is from the side of CESU here. All right, well, let's throw it over. I'll throw it back in once we know what's going on here. But, okay, one more point. CESU stumbling. Yeah, now it feels like the momentum really in favor of Concordia now, as we have the R in chat, but Concordia has had someone that has gone to the bathroom, so even though it wasn't Concordia that called for the pause, take every opportunity to pee. That's the lesson here. Big ults on the board though. Actually, you know what, let's just throw it back into the game so that you guys can see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these ultimates. Because, yeah, look at the Concordia has so many ults coming online here. The Tidal Blast and the Blade have been kind of pivotal combo that's been happening, despite, I think, Jaw really finding a lot of the value just before that Tidal Blast goes off. But a lot of that is due to the overhealth. You can really dive in very aggressively with your Blade when you have that overhealth, and there's the threat for the opposing team that they're also going to get knocked down by a Tidal Blast. So a good combo online for them. Both support ultimates are coming online for the side of CESU. Fridge Magnet should be able to build up a beat in time for the Blade, since there's still quite a walk towards the point. There's still a good little chunk of time available before that point is even going to unlock, 30 seconds. So you have an opportunity to at least get yourself prepared for this incoming Blade. You gotta have a good idea that it's going to be online here. Feels like a lot of the fights that Concordia is winning now, there's two things. They're either finding the first pick by using their kind of Slam plus Reaper combo, which is great when you're able to go first, or it's the ult combo that's coming through, whether it's the Cage Blossom or the Cage Overclock. But those are kind of the two win conditions that CESU seem to have right now. But on the side of Concordia, to respond to that, they're doing a good job kind of going second. Yes, sometimes they are getting blown up by the Mauga. I feel like that's just the nature of playing against Mauga. But if you're able to sustain through that initial engagement from the side of CESU, it feels like Concordia are hitting back strong with some really impactful eliminations. Not into falling first in a good amount of these fights, and it definitely goes to show, like, taking down the Mauga is going to kind of have this team crumble apart after that. All right, we got the R here. You can stop listening to Rain yap unless miraculously CESU have also gone to the bathroom. One of our guys went to go shovel. That's collegiate life for you, I suppose. Collegiate life, this is it. Sometimes you gotta go shovel the driveway when you're trying to play an Overwatch match. Alas. Welcome to Canada. I suppose. This is the Canadian Collegiate League. We have paused for a snow shoveling break. Okay, well, I guess we'll throw it back over here. Yeah, this is good for Concordia. You've at least got 2 submaps on here, so you're trying to get this reverse sweep on Saravasa finished out, because this is Concordia trying to stay alive in this series, right? That CESU is up 2 now, so they win this next sub point on Saravasa here. They win Palace. That's it. They win the match. Game over for Concordia, but Concordia have definitely been showing a whole lot of grit here. I'm very impressed. I also want to, let me just take a look over, since we're paused, let's take a look over at the history of these teams, because this is only week number 2. But where did both of these teams end up with on week number 1? All right, CESU coming off the back of a win. CESU taking a 3-0 over the Royal Military College. Good momentum here for CESU. On the side of Concordia, also coming off the back of a win here, a 3-0 against the Carleton Ravens. So both of these teams have built up a little bit of momentum here. They'd love to keep that going as they head into week 3. As a reminder, this is the open division of the Canadian Collegiate League, so this is a Swiss stage for the open CCL. So above that, in the Challengers and the Premier divisions, those I believe are round robin, I'm gonna say. But yeah, this is also a little fun fact. This is the match that is holding up the entire Swiss stage right now for Open. So welcome if you were one of the other Open teams in CCL and you're looking for a conclusion to find out when is your next match going to be released. Well, I'll just let you know we're waiting on the driveway to be shoveled before you get to find out when your next match is going to be. This is a University of Calgary that's on a pause for shoveling the driveway. I do know that they did get hit with a bunch of snow today, so gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Well, I guess we'll take a look over at the maps so far. Maybe you're just tuning in. Maybe you missed what the scores were to start out. All right, let's take a look at it while we're waiting, while we're shoveling the driveway. Nepal going the way of CESU Red. Concordia hitting back with the win on Circuit Royale. And then Runasapi going the way of CESU Red as well. So Saravasa is the map pick of Concordia here. And if we win out, if Concordia wins out here on Saravasa, that does mean we will be going to map number 5, which is a hybrid. So the way that map number 5 works is that it's whatever map mode was not played in map number 2 is what gets locked in for map number 5, which is interesting for map number 5 because, of course, hybrid does have the option to have a draw here, which I believe if there's a draw, we would just get sent to a control map again. Maybe I'll need a confirmation on that one, but yeah, this is the series so far as we are still waiting for the driveway to be shoveled. So that's good. It's all good. We're loving it here in CCL. Oh my gosh. I don't really have anything else really to tell y'all. Like this is it. This is a momentum killing pause, I think. If you're Concordia, I mean, you just won 2 sub points back to back, and now we're on a 6-minute pause or 7-minute pause. I don't even know. This is unfortunate, honestly. I'll get an ETA here on the shoveling squad. He's back inside. Yay. And he's warming his hands up. As you should. Alright. I don't know. That means we have a little more time. So what am I going to do? I am going to throw us over to the rosters. Why not? Let's get to know these players. They're in here. They're doing their best. Might as well give everybody a little reminder, just in case you missed the roster reveal at the beginning. Let's update this. Team 1. Oh, better take Pudge out of there. Team 1. Not Indom. On the tank. Pinkie Pie and J Brav, your DPS here. Lizzie and Fridge Magnet going to be your supports. Oh, we're almost ready to go here, but I would be amiss if I didn't show you Concordia as well. So, while everybody's walking over to Talus, there's nothing happening, don't worry. AFK Noob Jaw on the DPS, Pikazan your tank, Peppy Julie and Jim Bionicles on the support, although actually it is Amigo that's been playing the support here. Typically the tank. Alright, that's enough yapping. Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds. We're back into things here, and it is going to be CESU that are set up first here. Dragon Blade out, Tidal Blast on. Does find the kill on a Bridge Magnet and on to Pinky 5. That's going to be Concordia picking up the first percentage here once again. On Palace, that is now the 3rd point in a row that they picked up the first percentage, and the last 2 went their way, so maybe following a pattern here. Flux and the Orbital Ray ready to go for the side of Concordia. Both support ults, both DPS ults coming online for CPSU, but not quite online just yet. Bridge Magnet managed to hold on to this beat through the blades. Looks like he's just accepted his death with these blades from Jaw. I didn't even see that beat get committed. Alright, there's the Kitsune in, and Not Indom has just stormed his way forward, but unfortunately the rest of the team having a hard time following him through. Rabbinic Flux connects on to Lizzie, and Bridge Magnet gets that beat out, making sure that the supports stay alive. Now it is going to be the overclock here from AFK News. Another stomp in from Indom, but he's going to end up falling here. The overclock in response from NJ Bruv, but without your tank, you're just not going to have any staying power in this fight, and yeah, that is going to be Concordia at 96% here. Somebody needs to touch. It is going to be Bridge Magnet that triggers the overtime here for the side of CESU. Going to be able to trigger it once again as well, but no limbs are coming through here for CESU. The Tidal Blast over on to Pikazan, and well, that pause was not momentum killing for Concordia. They take the reverse sweep here on Surabasa, and they are going to keep themselves in this series. We are going to a map number 5.
Play of the game.
Sal says, the winner of this match plays against SFU. Alright. With the SFU capybaras waiting patiently. Okay, map number 5, Concordia have done it. This has been each team winning out their own map picks here, so maybe CESU gonna have the upper hand here as we head into a hybrid map. Now, of course, Concordia is going to get to ban out one of the hybrid maps here, and if you've missed it, well, CCL map pool works in the way that all the maps are in the pool if they're available in competitive play. So Watchpoint Gibraltar actually is not available to be played in CCL. The staff felt that there was just a little bit too much changes to the way that the map is oriented, especially I think on that second point. But otherwise, I guess that doesn't really matter because we are going to hybrid for map number 5, and all the hybrid maps are in the map pool. So to shorten down that map pool a little bit, we have the map bans coming in. So it is the winning team that gets to ban out a map, and then the losing team will get to pick what map of the remaining options we go to. It is a hybrid map for map number 5, and that is because Escort was selected for map number 2. So if we had done a hybrid in map number 2, it'd be an Escort in map number 5. But we get the hybrid map, which means that there's the potential for the draw. Not saying it's going to happen, just saying it's, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. Ooh, fascinating. King's Row ban coming through from the side of Concordia. Wow. You don't see that one often. All right. Well, we already know exactly where we're going for our 5th and final map, and this is courtesy of CESU selection. It is going to be Midtown. Oh, let's get Saravasa updated here as well. That was a 3-2 for the side of Concordia. There we go. Update that. All right, now it's all about the hero bans. So we are gonna have CESU that gets to ban out first. Going for the Wuyong ban here. Well, that is definitely a target over onto Jim Bionicles. Been fantastic on that Wuyong kind of all series long, honestly. The Wuyong on circuit. I believe that we had the Wuyong on Saravasa as well. Jim Bionicles has a very, very strong Wuyong, so taking that out, especially on a map like Midtown, a lot of poke potential here. This is where I'm expecting to see kind of a similar composition to what we were seeing on Circuit, which was the Sigma, which was the Wuyong. We even had the Bappy Yari as well, so definitely expecting some more poke compositions here. Domina? Question mark? I don't know, it's like these teams teased me with the Domina on Nepal and then just never gave me the Domina again. So heartbreaking. Oh. Hi. Oh. Sorry, I'm reading the lobby. I see my name, but they're not talking to me. They're just talking about the stream. Welcome in, everybody. If you're just joining, you have picked a fantastic time to tune in to the Canadian Collegiate League Open Division. I'm here with a rescheduled match. It is CESU Red versus Concordia University. We are tied up 2-2 right now. Each team has won out their map pick. So now it is map number 5, the hybrid map of Midtown, to determine which one of these teams is going to continue with a win here in week number 2, as both of these teams are coming off the back of wins in week 1. And this is Swiss stage, of course, so getting those wins early on, very, very important. You want to kind of build up your wins as early as you can in Swiss stage. Oh, and there it is, the band coming through, the Domina band coming through. The one map I thought I would get to see some more Domina, and the band comes through. It's a smart band, I can't lie. I mean, yeah. Concordia know that the Domina very, very strong. Pudge is in on the tank here for the side of CESU. Pudge was not the one playing the Domina, it was Indim. Yeah. So now we have to wonder, is Pudge going to be over on the Zarya? That's what we've seen Pudge play a little bit of, and the Ramatra. We did end up on the ramp mirrors a lot of these times. I'm sorry, I'm just trying. Let me stop talking and I'll put the hero bands in so that I can put us into Midtown, the Wuyong band and the Domina band. Alright, let's get started. It is map number 5 here, the deciding map in the series. And it is going to be CESU Red on the defense to start things out. Pudge is going to be over on that Zarya. The Widowmaker as well. Ooh. Ooh. This is not just a Widowmaker pick out of spawn. This is a Widowmaker locked in on defense here for NJ Bruff. A lot of pressure. I really like it. Let's see what they're going to be able to get done with it here. Concordia is back over on that Bappy Yari. On the Sigma. Ooh, the headshot connects on. Okay, Amigo actually going to swap over onto the Juno right away. Still shots coming through here. You can see Concordia is just trying to do their best to avoid this Widowmaker altogether. Ooh, the rock connects on. Great bubble from Pudge to keep Pinkie Pie alive on that Vendetta. Concordia do not want to hang out in this choke point for very long. Really need to start moving through here. Jim Bionicles with the opening pick onto Bridge Magnet, but isn't able to keep Jaw alive. That Zarya versus Genji matchup. We're not favoring the Genji here. AFK News does manage to take out NJ Bruff. That's a lot of pressure now going, and Zam with the kill. Nice rock there as the Sigma's going to be able to help open up the space and get this Concordia team on to the point here. And they're going to be able to get this cap as well. No recontest going to be coming through CESU here. Everybody from CESU is going to get that forward spawn though, and Pudge actually still on the low ground here, doing the damage, trying to just, burn through that Kinetic Grasp, and the Kinetic Grasp is not going to start the Vendetta either. So great job. Nice combo there from Pinkie Pie and from Pudge. Vendetta not done yet, looking for a little more. The deflect just going to keep you alive for a second, and Pinkie Pie back on this Vendetta. So deadly. Door is going to close here. The payload's made its way through, but the bubble going to stop that rock from coming through. I'm actually not sure if the block for Vendetta will stop the Sigma rock. I don't think that it will. Oh my gosh, so aggressive on this Vendetta. It just cannot be stopped. It's really just the CC from that Sigma that's really the hope kind of trying to shut down this Vendetta. Alright, there are ults online here, including that grab Thundering Blade combo. CESU love the combo. There's not going to be anything that's able to really stop it here. It's that grab. Kitsune Rush in from Lizzie, and there's the grab. Trying not to use anything, though, in combo with it. You already have that Kitsune Rush. But, I mean, somehow Concordia are coming out on top despite getting grabbed in a corner there and having a Kitsune Rush in their face. It must be courtesy of Amigo on this Juno. That orbital ray must have been committed there. And that was enough to keep the team alive here. Concordia going to start moving this payload forward and going to grab control of this high ground as well. The sun is ready to go here for Jim Bionicles. CSU is rotating, trying to take this high ground. There's the flux in. Does connect on to Pudge. The bubble forced out. Oh, Pudge. Oh, just barely getting that beat. Rich Magnet had a peek around the corner for that one. Does manage to keep the tank alive. That's a fantastic beat from the Lucio. And it's going to be taken by cleaning up the tank as well. Pikazan sent back to spawn. And that is a stabilization here for the side of CESU. And they're going to be able to get themselves set up on this high ground. AFK Noob over on to the Ash here. Let's see what they can get done with that. A little bit longer range. Be a little tricky to get the big dynamites. Ooh, especially if Lizzie is looking at your head. Oh, what a shot from Lizzie. Taking down AFK there. More time off the clock here for Concordia. You have to wait for AFK to get back into this. You need that consistent source of damage. Both DPS ultimates are ready to go here for CESU. Concordia had to be very, very careful about where they pass because Pinkie is just waiting to use this Sundering Blade, waiting to get a 5k with it, or at least a big chunk of damage with it. Alright, well, it is going to be the Blade first from Jaw here on the high ground. That's not Jaw, that's Jaw. Oh, response from the overclock of NJ Bruv, and although some damage done there by Jaw, no limb secured from it. That being said, Concordia did manage to take the high ground here. Oh, you have the sun. You just need to find a way to use it. Unfortunately, you just get knocked back. Jim Bionicle's not going to be able to get the healing out on a Pikazam. The tank falls here, and back to the drawing board. AFK going to try to sneak a little bit of progress on this Scarf, but he's going to get shut down pretty quickly by Pinkie Pie on that Vendetta. Thundering Blade still ready to go here. Both support ults have been built up for the side of CESU as well. Jaw over on to the Reaper. AFK over onto the Sojourn here. A lot of swaps coming through for the side of Concordia. They're trying to find the key to unlock this high ground. Run onto the high ground. It does connect on to the Vendetta. The CeSU just in time. Liz keeping Pinkie Pie alive, and the Beat also keeping Pinkie alive here. Now the Sundering Blade connects onto Pikazam. It does so much damage, and that's great follow-up from the side of CESU to hold on and reset back onto this high ground. 60 seconds here. It is going to be more swaps coming through for the side of Concordia. Pikazam over onto the Ramatra here. They're trying to find something that's going to win them this frontline duel. Alright, it's going to be an engagement up the side here. Very telegraphed. CSU very aware. You have this orbital ray. I think that's why the opportunity to path this way is showing itself. Jim Bionicles, though, getting caught out in the rotation here now. Ooh, Amigo gonna find a first kill and a second. Looking for more. Does some good damage there. Jaw will be able to finish that off for the Juno. Alright, that's the pathing that Concordia needed. There we go. Gonna be the second point picked up just in time. A minute and 40 seconds on the clock here as Concordia looks to move into the third point. AFK is over on the Tracer now. Overclock is ready to go for the side of NJ Bruv, and Pudge has this grab ready to go as well very soon. Ooh, Overclock, yeah, the headshot onto Pikazam is followed up by Pinkie Pie on this Vendetta, and he is looking for more, and he's gonna get more. Absolutely incredible stuff from the Vendetta. Oh, so dangerous, especially when you have these bubbles coming through from Pudge. Gonna be the reset onto a high ground here. 60 seconds on the board. Ults are coming online for Concordia. It's just hard. You're up against some really, really fight-winning ults here, especially with Pinkie Pie building up to this Thundering Blade. Yes, you have the opportunity to play slow here, but they are going to use the overclock to start things out. Trying to find something, but not willing to push through that choke point. Jaw is going to get punished from Fridge Magnet, but Amigo taking out and Jake Grubb. There's the grab. There's the Thundering Blade. Oh, it doesn't connect, though. It doesn't come down from the edge there. Mikazam ends up falling, and that is going to be Concordia living through that deadly combo just on a balcony, essentially. Fantastic job from Concordia, not committing any of their ultimates into that. 10 seconds on the board now, so Concordia does need to stay on this payload. After Annihilation, held that staying power. Here's the Kitsune rush out from CCL. Annihilation in response here. I mean, you can't really use that Kitsune rush, especially not with Jim Bionicle from the sun as well. Finding the shots here, trying to live, needs to stay alive, needs to find the kill onto NJ Bruff. There it is. Team kill comes through, and of course, with overtime, these spawns are going to take longer and longer. So, it's going to be feed out for Fridge Magnet. Connects on to Pinkie Pie, who's out on the Tracer, trying to find the kill onto Jim Bionicle. Does so much damage, but is it the finish up? No, it's not. The Blossom in ends up breaking the Reinhardt shield as Pudge swapped over to the Reinhardt just to try and have some presence, but it's not enough. In overtime, Concordia finish out Midtown. And of course, I'm assuming most of us know what an finishing without time means on a hybrid map. We are speaking into existence a map 5 draw. No. Well, okay. CESU still have to complete the entire map. And Concordia have to somehow make sure that they don't have too much time when they complete the map. If they complete the map. Concordia would love to shut things down early here, though. I do think that on the defense here, this composition that Concordia is opting for is going to be a little bit stronger. Oh, but they're not. They're not moving back over onto the Sigma. Mikazam's going to start out on the Ram and Jaw over on the Reaper here. I mean, it did end up winning the front-to-back fights that they were really looking for. So I really can't shame them for wanting to run it back.
Hello.
I'm not surprised at all. Want to see what the attack is going to be here right now. And J Bruv is hovering on the Widow.
Time will come.
I don't. It could happen. Could happen. It's possible. Not super likely. Symmetra? Oh, it's gonna be the Sim TP up so that the Widowmaker can get in position. That means that NJ Bruff is actually for real going on this Widowmaker. Yeah. TP up. Oh! That's the shot! That's the shot that they needed! Chip Bionicles! Oh, that is so unfortunate for Concordia, but so big for CESU. They need to walk forward here. Need to find something else, and oh, Pinkie Pie alive by just a fraction of HP, though. This is a good stabilization happening here for Concordia, despite losing AFK as well. Jaw getting very, very impressive here. The Wraith in just to steal the health back. That is a power move if I've ever seen one. Vigo finding that kill onto Pinkie Pie does mean that you're going to have an even better stabilization here, a better front-to-back fight for the side of Concordia, and despite a very flashy opening from the side of CESU, they're not even going to be able to get a tick on the point for their troubles here. And a parting kill onto Lizzie as well. Alright. Good attempt here from CESU to try and catch Concordia off guard. NJ Bruv is over on the Sojourn now. Nearly at this overclock as well, I must say. Doing a whole lot of damage here for having swapped off of that Widowmaker. Annihilation almost ready to go here for Pikazam. The Nemesis form out. Pudge, use those bubbles! Good presence from Concordia. Not pushing too far, not getting too aggressive. Can't chase for the kills here because you will get punished by this Vendetta if you walk yourself out of position. Rest in here from Pinkie Pie. Overclock as well. Ooh, gonna be the annihilation in response though, and that immediately shuts down that overclock. Everybody very spread out on the side of CCSU though, so the annihilation doesn't actually last very long. Kitsune Rush committed here just to keep Pudge alive, and it does the trick here. The Nemesis Storm is running out here for the side of Pikazam, and now there's a beat layered on top of that Kitsune Rush. Yeah, CESU are looking to get this point capped up here. It's gonna be Pikazam falling. Aware the Jaw is alive. Bridge Magnet trying to just LOS, but ooh, you LOS a little bit, and you end up getting taken down by Jim Bionicles here. Jim Bionicles, though, not gonna be able to stay alive through this, as there it is. Percentage on the point now. That's going to be first point capped up on the side of CCSU here. Both support ults and that overclock used. Everybody from the side of Concordia got the forward spawn, and they're trying to catch out these members of CESU, and they're going to do just that. Now, AFK does get punished here, so at least you have a trade coming through for the side of CESU, but this is going to be Concordia getting a good setup here on the second point. Sojourn will be able to get back into the fight fairly quickly between the slides. And AFK will probably get himself up on that high ground as well. So, good position to be in here. Blossom is ready to go. Jaw is looking for something a little quirky. Maybe a combo with the Sun here. The Sun does get CeSU'd out. There's the Blossom though, getting booped away, and that time the boop is gonna work out. Well, maybe not, as just Bionicles comes in and just decimates your team. Pinkie Pie's still alive though, and that means danger for Concordia. AFK getting sliced apart here on the point. Fantastic job from the Zarya and the Vendetta to stay in this and start moving this payload forward here. CESU we're gonna try and take this high ground as well, but Concordia are also rotating up onto this high ground. No ults for the side of CCSU just yet, because Concordia really wants this high ground, not just to control the high ground, but also to get AFK noob set up with this Sojourn. Oh, it is going to be the Vendetta, very split here. Yeah, Pinkie Pie's going to end up paying for that, not able to get out into the LOS because the work fast enough. And that's going to be Concordia moving forward here, getting some space. Jim Bionicles over on the Kiriko now, does get punished by Lizzie almost immediately here, so you can stay alive if you're CESU and get Pudge back into this. You might have an opportunity here, but yeah, the Kiriko's going to get back into the fight pretty quickly. Jim Bionicles is going to have that available. Yeah, Jim Bionicles set up on the high ground already. Concordia, 5 members on this high ground, the Annihilation and the Overclock. Engage in from Pinkie Pie, the bubble there to help, but the healing is not there to get you out. There's the overclock coming through. Lizzie does end up falling for that. AFK finds a headshot on Pudge as well. Up close and personal against J Bruv, and that'll be enough. Little tactical crouch for your troubles.
Alright, just got better.
Concordia holding strong here. Getting themselves set up on this high ground once again. A minute and a half on the clock here for the side of CESU to try and make something happen. We've got a lot to work with here.
It's go time.
Potentially in response to the Annihilation. Overclock up onto the high ground, trying to find this Reaper. Pushes out the Rage Form by Bridge. Magnet pushes a little too far. Doesn't have that beat. It's going to be the Sundering Blade in response on the high ground. Finds Amigo. Does a big chunk of damage to Pikazam as well. Not done yet. Trying to take down this Reaper. A brave fight. Now the Rage Form does get forced out here. And the TP is just going to prolong your death a little bit. CESU, they broke through the high ground, and they're pushing this point forward. There is a recontest opportunity here to the side of Concordia, though. Both support all getting very, very close, but they're not online yet. Bridge Magnet does have the beat ready to go. Oh, Concordia, they don't get a foot on, and Amigo commits the orbital. Oh, no, the orbital ray committed anyways. All right, Concordia, gotta find some limbs now. Looking for something. We managed to find the one on to NJ Bruv there, but don't stop the cap from coming through. So I anticipate that Concordia is either going to opt to die on the point here or somehow try and get out. Honestly, could just be stagger kills coming through here. Yeah, there is going to be Pikazam making his way onto the point there. So slow things down a little bit. Payload moving forward, and I don't know. It's looking like the CSU might be completing this without time. If they can complete it, of course. This is a big if. There's still a lot to work with here for Concordia. Kitsune Rush ready to go from Jim Bionicle for trying to punish Pinkie Pie with his aggression. There's the rush onto the point. The grab does connect onto 3, and you don't even need the Sundering Blade. You just slash and dice. 2 Vendetta things. And we find the team kill here. Great ult economy there from the side of CCSU. Is going to be the Blossom ready to go for Jaw here. AFK is getting close to the overclock as well, but already somebody else ready to go. It is going to be the Sundering Blade out. Pretty much just making space at this point. Does connect onto AFK Noob. The Blossom gets shut down. There's the 5-person beat from Bridge Magnet. And that is going to be round 2 completed here. Time on the clock, 39 seconds for the side of CESU to work with here. Not a whole lot of time, but you know, the 39 seconds can make the difference here, because as we head into these overtime rounds, you gotta really be thinking about the cycling here. And 39 seconds on top of a minute is gonna be enough for you to build up probably pretty much all of your ultimates. 1 minute, it's not enough time to build up a lot of ults. You might be able to get some of these support ultimates online for the side of Concordia, but it really hinges on Concordia winning at least a couple of fights and then building up to your ultimates here. To see, Concordia is going to be on the attack first.
Father said there is authentic Vietnamese food in big cities.
Okay, this is
What should I try first?
interesting hero coming out here for the side of CESU. Pinkie Pie is going to be over on the Bastion.
Indoctrination.
This is gonna be dangerous, especially if Pikazam
Watch
comes
your
out on the
flanks. They
Sigma.
might try something.
Sigma does have the cooldowns to kind of cycle through, but that shield will get melted very, very quickly by a Bastion. And then once the shield is melted, then you have a Sojourner or a Matra just in your face doing damage, punching through your kinetic grasp. Alright, see what they can do. Jim Bionicle's over on the Yari, Amigo on the Juno here. We are aware that the Bastion exists. Concordia now playing to try and get that Bastion one out before they push in. Pinkie Pie playing very patient though. Alright, there's the form, looking for it. Oh no, push too far! Got too aggressive. AFK Noob punishes the Bastion. He does all the way in the back line as well. Okay, the TP out just in time here. This is Concordia pushing forward onto the point. Ooh, the speed ring not enough to get AFK out, but there's one tick on the board. We are not at a draw scenario. Somebody is going to be winning Midtown here. Map number 5. And that is going to be the first point. Nearly capped up here. And we have the Reaper coming in here for the side of CESU, but I don't know that CESU necessarily want to take the fight here. That is a lost point here. Yeah, that's going to be point capped up for the side of Concordia. And now, I mean, Lizzie and J Bravo really need to get out alive here. Looks like they will be able to get themselves onto the high ground. It's safe. Everybody from the side of CPSU is going to be able to get back into this fight. Pudge over on the Zarya. And Pinkie Pie over onto this Vendetta again. Critic Flux ready to go for Pikazam. They play a little bit slow. You might be able to have a nice combo in the Sun Flux combo. Overclocking closes all to the side of CPSU to work with. Blocks in, connects onto 2. Oh, but both bubbles there from Pudge to keep his team alive. And the Vendetta gonna come through, find that kill onto Jaw. Now there's still 4 members alive and well on this hard point here for Concordia. The overclock is out, but nice pinch coming through here for the side of CESU. The stun from Jim Bionicle is gonna do a good chunk of damage, but these overtime spawns take so long to get back into things. Pikazam very, very low. The supports from CESU will clean things up. And that is as far as Concordia are going to be pushing.
3 to 4. Switching sides.
All right. That's a pretty good push for 1 minute. That is, yeah. You can't feel too bad about that if you're Concordia. Like I said, though, 1 minute and 39 seconds. Having that more time. Building up those ults a little faster. I think really, yeah, CESU Just need to play patient here. Need to play that Vendetta.
Ready for battle.
Thing is, the CESU is really using this Vendetta to kind of push in, use the bubble, and then get some cooldowns out, and then come back out. I think that it's just about getting the timing right with this Sojourn. When your Vendetta goes in and gets the cooldowns out, you really want to already have that railgun ready to go for the Sojourn. If you go too quickly, your Sojourn is not going to be able to really clean up the kills and the damage that's all been done by that Vendetta, or capitalize on any of those cooldowns that have been forced out by the Vendetta. Especially on a choke point like this. Are they going to try it again?
5,
No sim TP here. Just looking for good old-fashioned Widow headshot.
attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
They won't find it. Concordia learned their lesson. Alright. Quite the angles being controlled by Concordia on this defense. They're really trying to make it as hard as possible for this CESU team to walk through this choke point. You want to try and force down as many of these bubbles as you can. One come out already. Oh, Nemesis Storm gonna come out early here. Looking for the kill onto the Vendetta. Going to be able to find it. Gonna be able to find anything else. Concordia pushing forward, potentially looking for it. They know NJ Bruv is on this split here, but you're not gonna be able to get onto that high ground to put pressure onto the Sojourn. 60 seconds now. A whole lot of progress made here. Again, yes, we're stuck in this choke point. Jim Bionicle taking out Bridge Magnet. Trying to make a fight as well, and CESU are gonna have one more opportunity to try and break through this choke point. It's so hard, this Ramatra Zarya matchup here. It means that even if you go in with the bubble onto the Vendetta, there is a shield that is going to block any of that follow-up damage that comes through. Annihilation really ready to go. Get down as well to make things that much harder. Has it ready to go. Finds the opening kill. 10 seconds to go here. It is going to be NJ Bruv on the flank. End up falling here, and there will be no touch coming through. The team kill to finish things off as Concordia is going to take the victory here. 3-2. Absolutely incredible match from these two teams. Heck of a way to finish out Swiss round 2. Oh my gosh, the Vendetta absolutely terrifying. Oh my goodness. Well, that was quite the show that we got to see tonight. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in, following along. I hope that you had as much fun as I did watching this one, because this was an absolute banger of a series. So fun to see these two teams go up against each other here. But that is going to be all the Overwatch that I have for you tonight. Make sure to tune in tomorrow to the CCL live Twitch channel. We're going to be having the default match day happening tomorrow, and I believe that I'm allowed to tell you this, that we do know the teams that are going to be on stream. So we are going to be having the University of Saskatchewan up against SFU Capybaras. Raccoons? Ooh. I think it's the Capybaras. Maybe it's the... No, I think it's... Oh, no. Anyways, fact check me on that one. The SFU team that is in the Premier Division will be on stream tomorrow playing against the University of Saskatchewan. So thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Thank you once again. Big thank you to these two teams for giving me permission to come in and co-stream your games. If you are on a CCL team and you want to have a chance at being on my stream, please make sure that you get your reschedules posted in the reschedule channel. If it works out with my schedule, I will reach out to your team managers and I will try to get something set up so that we can have you on broadcast. My goal is to get as many of these awesome Canadian players on the streams as much as possible. So thank you so much to everybody that's making that happen. And I look forward to seeing everybody over on the CCL channel tomorrow for the default match day of Overwatch. Have a great night.